Hello and welcome all of you guys to our YouTube channel Simplify X Academy. In this tutorial, I will be explaining you some of the more advanced concepts related to Microsoft Excel's VLOOKUP formula. In our previous tutorial, I walked you guys through the basics of VLOOKUP formula and I showed you using a very basic example how Excel VLOOKUP works, right? In this tutorial, let's crank it up a notch. I will show you how you can use VLOOKUP when your data is in two different Excel sheets. Also, I will show you how you can use VLOOKUP hand in hand with another Excel formula like the if formula. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into Excel. Here we have sales data for the month of October, and this sales data belongs to a hypothetical company that sells computer gadgets and accessories. And here we have their sales data for the month of October. This is a highly summarized hypothetical data set created just for you to get an understanding of the content that I'm going to explain today. Here, in the first column, we have the sales ID, that is a unique identifier for each sale. And this is the month. And this is the invoice number, that is also a unique value. And then we have the product ID pertaining to the specific sale. And then the employee ID, that is the ID of the salesperson who did the sale, and then the number of units sold, and then the total sales amount in dollars. All right. And then moving on to the next tab, that is the inventory tab. There you have the list of the summary of all the products that is sold by this company, along with their product names and the category that the particular product belongs to, and the stock level and the reorder point. For the context of this tutorial, we won't be needing columns like stock level and reorder point, but for sure, for our future tutorials, these columns might become useful. Moving on to the third tab, that is the employees tab. Here we have the data related to the employees or the salesperson of this computer gadgets company. We have the employee ID, which is a unique identifier for each employee, the name of the employee, their role in the company, the region that they do the sales, and their target sales amount for that particular month, which is the month of October. Here we are at the sales tab again. Let's assume the person who views this report wants to include the product name into the report because they want this report to be more readable and add more clarity to this report. Having just the product ID will not be convenient, and you have to remember or recall the corresponding product name every time you come across this report. Therefore, in order to include or bringing the product name into this summary tab, sales tab, we can get the help of Excel's VLOOKUP formula. Here's how you can do it. I want the product name to be included in between columns D and E. Therefore, I will add a new column. And then I will name that as product name. And then I will type VLOOKUP. And then the lookup value would be product ID. The second parameter will be the table array. To get the table array, I will go to the inventory tab. I will select the entire range and I will hit F4 to make it an absolute reference. And the third parameter will be the column. I want to get the second column here, that is the product name. Then I want an exact match. Of course, you can use true or false or 0 or 1 to indicate whether it's true or false. In this case, I want an exact match. Therefore, I will type false. Now I will close the parentheses to indicate that I am completing the formula, and I will hit enter. Now you have the product name. Now you just have to drag the formula down using the fill handle, and all the necessary values will get populated here. See, that's how you use VLOOKUP to reference or look up values in different sheets. From my experience, I am pretty sure that this becomes very useful when you are doing work in Excel, because most of the time the data that we need are not in the same sheet. It could be in multiple sheets or tabs or in multiple workbooks. In such cases, you can use VLOOKUP formula like I just showed you. Then you can get your work done quickly without any hassle. Alright, now that's done. Let's move on to the second part of the tutorial, that is the using VLOOKUP as a nested formula in Excel, right? For that, I'm using a practical use case with the help of this data. I'm going to the Employees tab. In the Employees tab, you see column E shows the target sales amount corresponding to each salesperson. I want to determine whether each of these sales personnel are eligible for a bonus or not, right? So the criteria would be like this. If that person has exceeded their target sales amount, then that person will be eligible for a bonus, right? In this case, for an example, Michael Johnson, for October, their target sales amount is $25,000. If they have exceeded that amount, then they are eligible for a bonus. So I want to add a helper column here. Let's say that's let's call it rather a helper column. Let's call it as an indicator column. I will name it as bonus, and I will add a different fill color to indicate that it's a calculated column. Now, what I can do is, in order to determine whether that person is eligible for a bonus or not, we first need to determine the total sales amount for that particular month, right? In this case, it's October. So we need to bring in that total sales amount from the sales tab. We can easily use VLOOKUP formula to get that done. First, I will type VLOOKUP, and then the value that I want to look up is the employee ID. And then I want to define the table array. I'm going to the sales tab. Now, there's a catch here. In VLOOKUP, you need to keep in mind, this is very important. In VLOOKUP, the value that you are looking up should always be the first column in your table array. In this case, the value that we are looking up is the employee ID, and that should be the first column in your table array. If you selected this entire range, your formula VLOOKUP won't work. Therefore, you just want to select this range from F2 until H6, and then I'll hit F4 to make that an absolute reference. And then I think I messed it up here. I will go to the sales tab, and then I will select this range. I will hit F4. And then as the third parameter, I want the column index number. In this case, I want the total sales amount. And the total sales amount is the third column in our table range. Our table range is, the table array is F2 to H6. Therefore, total sales amount is present in the third column in that range. Okay. Even though total sales amount is the seventh column in this entire table, we capture only this part of this table only for this particular case. All right. Now I am typing 3, the number of the column, and then the true or false, we need an exact match. Therefore, it will be false here. And then I am closing the parenthesis. Now our formula is complete. I'll hit enter. See, now you have the total sales of Michael Johnson for the month of October, right? So now 50%, half of our formula is complete. Now we want to determine if this value in F2 is greater than value in E2 or not. For that, I'm using if formula. I'm nesting this VLOOKUP inside my if formula. And in the if formula, you guys know that it is expecting 3 parameters from us. First one is a logical test, and then you need to give it the value if true, and then the value if false, right? In this case, logical test is very simple. That is, the value in column E2, value in column F2 should be greater than the value in column E2, greater than or equal. All right. Now the value in F2 is obtained using the VLOOKUP formula. And now I am checking whether it's greater than or equal than the value in E2. Now value if true. If true, let's enter Y, meaning yes. Yes, that person is eligible for a bonus. If false, we'll enter uppercase N, that indicates no. All right, let's complete the formula. Hit enter. See, it says no because Michael Johnson's target sale value was $25,000. If you go to the sales tab, his sales value for the month of October was only $2,240. Let's drag the formula down. From this data, you can see there are only 2 people who met their target sales expectation for the month of October. That is Sophia Brown and Liam Smith, because they have done sales more than their target sales values. All right. That is how you can use VLOOKUP in conjunction with other Excel formulas to achieve a more powerful and efficient outcome. Now we have come to end of today's tutorial. If you found our tutorial useful, please hit like and share it among your friends as well. And if you still haven't subscribed to our channel, please hit subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell notification icon as well. Thanks for watching. See you in our next tutorial.